Alright, welcome to the second video for the employee portal for the City and Borough of Wrangell. In this video, I'm going to show you how to enter an employee timesheet through the employee portal, and we're going to go ahead and use mine for an example. Now, this is designed for the employees who are hourly, non-exempt employees to enter their timesheets. For those of you who are exempt employees or are salaried, yours will be entered a little bit differently, so you can still watch this video and get the main gist of everything, but this is designed mainly for those employees who are hourly and non-exempt. So of course the first thing you're going to do is go to the employee portal. As you can see here, we're going to go ahead and log in, and like I said, we're going to use my login as our test today. And so here we are. So of course when you log into the portal, the first thing you're going to see is the news screen. We just have the three for right now, the basic welcome, how to change your password, and a caution. If you've watched the video on how to log in the first time and how to change your password from that initial temporary password, you've already seen all of this. If not, go back and watch that video. So to enter your timesheet, you're going to go over here on the menu bar to where it says Edit My and then Timesheets. When you click on that, you're going to see several different options. So you're going to see mostly you will just see this top section here. So you'll see what timesheets are available that you can enter time into. Once you have submitted that, you're going to see timesheets that are waiting for approval from your supervisor, in the process of being approved, need corrections, and have been sent back to you. Ones that are approved, and then once they have been approved, you will see them in paid. You can also click on paid and see your past timesheets. It'll go back as far as AccuFund with the City and Borough of Wrangell, which I believe is going to be spring/mid-year 2017, or it'll go back to your employment with the City and Borough of Wrangell if you were employed after that time. Alright, but let's get started. So you can see here you have only one timesheet available to enter time into. That's pretty standard. You're just going to see the one that you have for the current month. On a rare occasion, you might see two, mostly kind of around those time periods that are a little different, June and December. You might end up seeing two at a time. Most of the time you're just going to see one here. So this one says our check date is 5/3/2019. It's for the hours worked between April 1st of 2019 and April 30th of 2019. So this is the current pay date. So I'm going to double click on this to open it up. You can also highlight it and click on this change button. Either way will work, just a matter of preference. Okay, once you open this up, you're going to see your name. You're going to see who the initial approver is. Basically, that's just who is the department head for your group. Since I'm in the finance department, I fall in with the finance employees. Now, you can add your time in a various number of ways. So you can enter your time daily if you want. You can log into the portal and enter your time every week. You can also log in to the portal and enter your time for the entire month at a time. I recommend doing it at least every week. That way you don't forget what hours are worked. It's easier to kind of keep track of it in little bits, and it doesn't take as long if you do it a little chunk at a time. So you can see here at the top, it's going to have your name, it's going to have the period that you're entering this time for, and then down here you're going to have an add button, and you're going to have some options as how you want to see your time. So you can click on week 1 and see just the first week of the month. You can click week 2 and you'll see the second week of the month. You can click week 3 and so on and so on, or you can click period and it'll show you the entire month, and you can just tab straight over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add. That's going to add a new time card, and it's going to default to regular. Now you're going to have several different earnings codes that are available here. Standard, you're going to see regular, overtime, double time, swing, grave, overtime for swing and grave, double time for swing and grave, and then the others: holiday, floating holiday, bereavement, jury duty, sick, and vacation. These last two you don't need to worry about. I don't even know why they're there, but we can't get rid of them. So these are standard. Now, if you have other earnings codes that apply to you, they may be added in and you would see those aside from just the general population. So for example, acting time. If you're an employee who has a need for the earnings code for acting time, you would see that. If you are an employee who works standby hours, you would see that assigned to you. If for some reason you have an earnings code that you need and you don't see it in this drop-down list, please let me know. You can call me at City Hall, 907-874-2381. You can email me, amolin@wrangell.com, and I can get that added into your profile for you. So we're going to start with just basic regular. You're also going to see next a distribute drop-down box. So if you work in different departments and your time gets split, you'll have this option to be able to say, I want these hours to go to this department and these hours need to go to this other department. It's not typical, but there are several employees who work for various departments. So you change that if you need to. Type. You're not going to want to do this really because you can't override anything, and why would you want to try to pay yourself at the prior rate? So just leave type at none and don't worry about that. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say for Monday I worked 8 hours, and I'm just going to tab over and say I worked 8 hours all 5 days of the first week of that month. And I'm going to stop there because I'm just going to enter my time for the first week. So it's in there, but it's not saved. Now what I want to do is I want to click this update button, and that update button is going to save that row. You can still go back and modify it later, but it's in there and saved right now. And when you do that, it's automatically going to create a second row for you. Now if I didn't want that second row, it's very simple. I go up to delete it, and now I have just the one row of regular time that I entered. But maybe I need another row because maybe I worked some overtime that week. So I'm going to go to overtime, and I'm going to say on Monday I worked 1 hour of overtime, and then on Thursday I worked half an hour. Now remember, when you're entering hours, you have to enter them in 15-minute increments. 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, or just 0.0. So there's my overtime. And again, I'm going to click the update button, and then I'm going to delete the row that it adds, and now I have my 2 rows. You'll be able to see that you have daily totals here for each day. You also have weekly totals by earnings code and by total. You'll also see there's some automatic formatting for weekends. So weekends are going to be highlighted in yellow just to catch your eye in case you accidentally got a little tab happy and just hit 8 across the board. Your totals for the weeks are going to be highlighted in this beautiful Tiffany blue color. And if you are an employee who only works Monday through Friday and you don't want to see that Saturday and Sunday, you can click this button, hide weekends, and now it's gone. And that will allow you to only enter time Monday through Friday. If for some reason you do work Monday through Friday, but there's a random weekend that you have to come in on a Saturday, it's very simple. Uncheck it, and your Saturdays and Sundays show back up. All right. So now, like I said, there are some employees who have some of those different codes that you might want to enter. For example, maybe you have acting pay. If you don't know what acting pay is, then you probably don't have to worry about that. If you do, then you most likely know all about that. So let's say I had acting pay, and I need to go back and say, you know what, on Monday, and I just messed that up. My bad. Okay, so I'm going to go back and say, I actually had only 8 hours Tuesday through Friday. There we go. And then I actually was acting for 8 hours on Monday. But this system here is not going to know what is that acting rate of pay, because it could be anything. So if you do have acting, you should have the acting pay authorization form filled out beforehand, and you should know what that acting rate is. So you're going to put your 8 hours, you're going to put that acting rate in this memo field. So let's say that acting rate is $30 an hour. And then you update that row. Again, you're going to delete the row that it automatically adds in, and now you have that in there. You can scroll all the way down. It's going to enter your entire month worth of hours and give you some totals at the end. Just a reminder, the system is not going to be able to automatically differentiate between regular time and overtime. So just a quick reminder on what the overtime rules are for the Department of Labor for the state of Alaska. So if you work 8 hours in a day, up to 8 hours in a day, it's regular time. Anything over 8 hours is going to be overtime. So if you put 9 hours here as regular, it's going to take that and let you put 9 hours in, and it'll pay you at 9 hours regular, because the system doesn't automatically differentiate. So you need to make sure that you're looking at anything over 8 in a day or over 40 in a week is considered overtime. Make that differentiation yourself within the timesheet, and that way your supervisor can approve it without having to send it back for any corrections, and make sure that you get paid correctly. And your payroll person really appreciates that. So make sure you know that. If you're a union employee and you have different rules on double time and whatnot, you probably know those rules, but if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or email me, and I'll be happy to go through that with you and help make sure that everything's being put in there correctly. Alright, so I've got my first week of hours in here, and I'm done for the moment. I don't have the rest of my month, but I kind of want to save it so that I can go back in next week and just update the second week. This submit button up here is going to act as a save button. So I can click submit, it's going to save it, it's not going anywhere, because right now the save button is only, or the submit button is only acting as a save. You can see in here I have 42.5 hours. I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to say, yeah, that was actually only 8 hours. And I'm going to say, you know what, I ended up not acting. So there we go. There is my timesheet. Now, and I can submit it again, and again, it's just going to save it. Now, when I want to actually submit it to my supervisor for approval, I'm done. I have all my hours in. It's time. I'm going to click this complete checkbox here, and then I'm going to click submit, which I won't do at the moment because I don't want my supervisor getting a half-done timesheet. But until you click that checkbox next to complete, it will not actually submit your timesheet. But feel free to go in there as much as you want. You can estimate your hours for the month and then just go in every week and change it to what it actually was, and then submit. The other thing you can do is you can add notes into your timesheet. So I can click on the notes thing, and let's say I want to make a note either for myself so that I can remember what this 1 hour of overtime was, or maybe I want to put a note in there for my supervisor so that when I send the timesheet over, I can let them know this is why I have that on my timesheet. I'll go to notes and I'll go to add. You can choose the day. So let's say I had that half an hour of overtime on Thursday. I'm going to put just a note in there. That's the only type you have. And I'm going to say 0.5 hours of overtime due to, we'll say shortened lunch. Maybe I had to come back from lunch early. But I can do that. I can click update. Again, when you click update, it's going to put another row in. Just delete that extra row. And now I have my note in there so that my supervisor can see oh, that's why I had that overtime. Or I can remember myself and say, oh, yeah, that's why I have that on there. So you've got several different options there. And again, when this timesheet is complete and you're ready to send it over to your supervisor, you're going to click complete and you're going to click submit. And that will send it over to your supervisor and it will move it from this all available to waiting approval. And then supervisors will be able to go in and approve their timesheets. And if they need to send it back to you for corrections, they'll be able to correct that and then move on to approved and then paid. And we love it when everybody gets paid correctly and on time. It's fantastic. So if you have any questions on how to enter timesheets, if you want to walk through it once just to see, feel free to give me a call at City Hall or email me. I'm more than happy to walk you through this. So hopefully this video helps you out as we take one step closer to being more efficient and more of a paperless, seamless system. This employee portal is going to be able to do such great things for you guys, and I can't wait for you to see what's next after we get past employee timesheets. I promise you're going to love it. So again, thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions, give me a call, send me an email, come on down to City Hall. I am here for you guys. So thanks very much. Have a great day.